Jai Shriman Narayana, Jai Hanuman. Welcome to the today's session of Arishadvargas. In the last session, we have seen, the basic knowledge of what are Arishadvargas and how do they affect us in going forward in our lives, or how do they affect us in leading a happy life, or even for self-realization, how do they become hindrances? And also, we have seen a little bit of an introduction of how everything, in the creation, in the process of creation, how everything comes into existence and how the souls are embodied with, either the mind or the intellect or the sensory organs and everything. And the body itself is made up of 5 elements. So, when this body is formed with 5 elements, and when a soul gets the mind, the intellect, the sensory organs, and everything, we have learned that with our past karmas and with the ruchi and vasana and the samskaras, we tend to act in a certain way. So with our actions, we either like increase these Arishadvargas in ourselves, or we reduce them. So this is all with our actions. So today we are going to look into the desire, the first Arishadvarga, which is the kamam or the desire. So what is exactly this Arishadvarga and how is it bad for us, and how can we uh, control this, or how can we change ourselves in desire affecting us negatively? So today we are going to learn that. So the first Arishadvarga is the kamam, or the basically, like, for a better understanding, we can call it as desire. So when we say desire, this is something where it enables us to act, to crave for something. So with this explanation, we can understand that it is coming from the rajasic part of the trigunas. We have learned sattva, rajas, tamas, and what we have also learned the qualities associated with these 3 gunas. So this desire, it is associated with the rajasic nature. So are all the desires wrong? Even having a desire is wrong? No, it is not wrong to have desires. You can have desires, but you should have a limitation to these desires. When you crave for something, either it could be anything. If you crave for food, or if you're craving for attention, or if you're craving for materialistic things, or if you're craving for sex or lust, so there is a point where you can enjoy these desires or fulfill these desires. If you are fulfilling these desires in a sattvic way, and if you're fulfilling these desires in a dharmic way, there is nothing wrong in that. You put this desire. We have learned that rajasic nature, if we align it with the sattvic, the result is different. This same rajasic nature, when we align it with tamasic, the result is different. So even for this desire, as this is rajasic, if we can align it with our sattvic behavior, the result is something different, which does not harm us. That type of desire is not an Arishadvarga. It is not creating a hindrance for you for self-realization. That is okay. You can have that kind of desire. But when this rajasic nature of kamam, it is associated with the tamas. That means the ignorance, the lack of wisdom, there is no clarity of mind, and your decision making is not to its fullest. So when this rajasic desire is combined with the tamasic nature, then that becomes a problem for us. So, like, for example, um, I'll give you an example where we can understand in our day-to-day life, because this is something which we come across in our day-to-day lives every single day, you know. So if we, for example, if we take food, you like something, you have a liking towards, suppose if I say, if you like that mirchi bhaji, you have like extreme liking towards that. Or sometimes we have extreme liking towards non-vegetarian. We see that in our day-to-day lives. So what happens when you have the craving for this kind of desire for eating? If we are not in awareness, what do? We eat, we eat, like, I don't know, 3 mirchi bhaji, 5 mirchi bhaji, or 8 mirchi bhaji. If you observe, after eating that 8th bhaji, you will not have the craving for the ninth bhaji. Your mind tells, oh, I am full, I don't want to eat anymore. So you are able to stop at that 8th or ninth bhaji. So if you get into this self-awareness, and when you introspect and see what are you eating exactly, why are you craving for that mirchi bhaji so much that, after 2 days, again that craving comes back, that bhaji calls you. Oh, I want to eat that bhaji. I want to eat that bhaji. What is making us to crave for these food materials? Is it our ruchi and vasana, or our samskaras are making us to crave for this food? Or, if you talk about materialistic things, sometimes we get attracted to each and every small thing we see, oh, I need to have this, and we buy that and we keep it. And again the next day we see something else, and our mind tells, oh, I need this, I need to buy this. So what happens is, without even our knowledge, we are not even thinking whether we really need that or not. Our senses are telling, our indriyas are telling, oh, I just want that, I want to have that. That is the craving, that is the desire you're having without your control towards that object. So what happens when you are not in your awareness? You keep on buying, you keep on buying, you keep on buying. Maybe you will use that for a day, and after that it goes into the some corner. Or what you do is, most of the people, they have the habit of cleaning the house so much, so that these things, you just put it in trash, you use it once and then you trash it. We use it once and we trash it. Before buying those things, if we can think once, do I really need this? Once we can introspect ourselves, and we give a little bit of a gap before that craving and before the actual purchase, if we can go and introspect ourselves and really think, do I really need this? What is the exact use for this product? If we can think twice, I think 99% of the times we are not gonna end up buying the things what we buy on a regular basis. This we can see, especially, when you are on Amazon. You can try this and see. If you have an habit of impulsive buying, whatever you see, if you have the habit of buying those things, from this moment onwards, try this trick. When you see something which attracts you, where you do not have control over yourself, and you just go and purchase it, in that scenario, just pause for a moment and then think, do I really need this product? Where am I gonna use it? how much I'm gonna use it. And then once you get to the conclusion of these questions, and then you can notice whether you're really gonna buy that product or not. So this compulsive disorder is also, it's craving to buy something is also a desire which comes under this Arishadvarga. So like this, we have like so many desires depending on the requirement we have. Like if we look into this, if we consider our body, physical, when we consider our body, that is a physical desire we have, whether it could be like getting comfort or getting food or fulfilling ourselves with food or a sexual desire that comes under our bodily desire, which is physical, which we do this for, our survival, especially like, eating food, that is for our survival. So when this is combined with the sattvic guna, the action what we are doing, whether we are eating food, whether we are sleeping, whether we are doing anything for our comforts, whether this is for sex, this is all balanced when it is combined with the sattvic, whereas when it goes out of your control, when it becomes unhealthy, this becomes an addiction. Whatever these actions are, they all become addictions. They are called addictions which are not in our control, whether it may be drinking, whether it may be substance, whether it may be food, whether it may be sex, whether it may be anything, even getting into the comfort levels or avoiding pain. We see this substance abuse when it comes to avoiding pain. That is also a physical requirement which we have. So there is a balance. There is a difference between keeping it in balance or getting into the addictive state. So when is this balanced? When is this becoming addictive? We should be aware of this. When we are in our control of our senses and when we are associated with the sattvic nature, this becomes a balanced desire. Whereas when we group it with our tamasic nature, then it becomes addictive. In the same way, this is with the body. In the same way, we have emotional requirements, that is the emotional requirements, we fulfill it with our mind. So if the mind is not in your control, if the mind is not in our control, then that desire goes out of our way, that becomes unbalanced. When the mind is in your control, the emotional desire which you are asking for becomes balanced. You don't go out of your way or you don't crave out of your way. So what are the emotional desires we have? Um, Getting loved by others, or uh, be feeling secured, or the feeling validated or feeling judged. These are all our emotional desires what we have. So when when our mind goes out of control, when we do not have the control over our mind, then there is an imbalance in all this, in the emotional well-being. So this emotional imbalance, it leads to many other undesired actions, and we end up into deeper and deeper troubles in our day-to-day life, where we go far away from our basic happiness. So that is the emotional desire. So we also have ego-based desires, where we have to satisfy our ego. This we see like in our day-to-day life, this we see a lot, whether when we are with our spouses or with parents, with kids. for that small, not a small thing, actually, it's huge. This ego is so much big, the ahankaram. This ego brings lot of troubles into it. That if we can understand this little part of ego, and if we can step backwards and realize what we are doing, why we are reacting so much, if we can realize this is our ego which is making us do all this. So how do we realize? Again, the same thing. Here again, the sattva and tamas comes into picture. If we are in the sattva, then we can realize, oh, this is my ego which is making me do these arguments, or which this is my ego which is making me get into this bad, anything. It could be anything. You can get into arguments, you can do wrong things. So if we can introspect ourselves again and realize that this is our ego which is hurting ourselves, then we can we can balance ourselves or imbalance ourselves. In the same way, the materialistic things, what we have talked earlier. Similarly, the intellect, even our intellect also is a desire. How much of growth do we need? This growth, is it tamasic or is it sattvic? If we have the sattvic realization of this intellect, our growth goes in a positive way, in a sattvic way. Whereas this combines with the tamasic, the growth, the intellect, if it combines with the tamasic, the desires, it completely, the intellect, whatever we are having, we won't be able to utilize in the proper way because we do not have the clarity of mind. So when we do not have the clarity of mind, this intellect also goes in the wrong hands. So again, comes when it comes from the intellect, when it comes to the social desires, when it comes to the society, when it comes to the uh, belongingness to the society. Again, here also the similar things. How we behave in the society. Are we balanced or imbalanced? And when it comes to the our dharmic actions, leading the way, using your desires to lead a dharmic way is the right way to use your desire. So are you in the dharmic way? How, if your desire is in the dharmic way, how is it helping us? This dharmic way comes when you're with the sattva gunam, when you're more with the sattva gunam. So when you're in the dharmic way, what does it do to you? It enhances your soul. It enhances your soul energy. So when it enhances your soul in a positive way, you are gonna get into the self-realization. So when you are gonna get into the self-realization, you're gonna realize that we are a soul. We are something different from this body. We are a soul, and this soul belongs to a higher conscious. This soul belongs to the Bhagavan. So when you are able to differentiate all this, when you are able to distinguish that this soul belongs to the Bhagavan, then your actions are gonna be directed towards him. So you will do something which can please him or which is going to please him. So for this, you need to have knowledge. What is going to please him exactly? For that, we should have know what is going to please him. So in Bhagavad Gita, he has given 26 qualities where a human needs to follow this, or, uh, be in the alignment with these 26 qualities so that you can walk yourself towards the Bhagavan. So that is, the dharmic desire. So what is the next spiritual desire? So from the dharmic desire comes the spiritual desire, which we have talked, that we realize that we are the soul and the soul belongs to the Bhagavan. And then we work towards the soul liberation, that is towards the Bhagwan. So what happens when all these desires, whether it is physical, emotional, ego-based, materialistic, intellectual, and social, till here, if these desires are not balanced, what happens? You are craving for a desire where the desire is not being fulfilled. Just think, in our day-to-day life, what happens? We are craving for something and that is not fulfilled. When that craving is not fulfilled, the next step, what happens is you get angry because that is not being fulfilled. There is another Arishadvarga which comes into picture, that is the anger. So when this anger comes, and when this anger loses its control, or it passes a certain limit, you lose your memory, you lose your ability to think. There is a delusion which comes into us. That anger takes over so much that it takes over our control over our mind, and we are in so much of delusion where we do the wrong things to extremities. This anger takes us to such an extreme that we ourselves get into the perishing path where we demote ourselves with this anger. So having control over these desires is very, very important. So how do we have control over these desires? How is it possible for us to be in more sattvic way rather than the tamasic way? So, in Bhagavad Gita, he tells very clearly, self-discipline is one thing which is very important. In the beginning, we may find it very difficult for us to be self-disciplined ourselves, but with practice, every day inculcating small habits. Don't start with a big resolution. Start small, and getting into these small habits, we can get into a discipline pattern where we will have control over ourselves. And when we have that discipline pattern, slowly, don't get anything we should not do in an aggressive way. Slowly getting into the spiritual path, or doing meditation for a very little time, or how much ever you can, where your mind is not wavering too much, where you can control and make your mind sit and focus at one point, that way, self-awareness and self-realization, and being in aware when we are craving for something, be aware. For example, when we take an example of the social desire, what is happening when this social desire is increasing on us? That means we are seeking others' attention. So when this social desire is seeking others' attention, what happens is whatever we do with lack of ignorance. And this social desire, when it gets imbalanced, where does it go? It goes into people pleasing. You start to work to please people. You don't do it for yourself, or you don't do it for the Bhagwan. You start to please others. This social desire, it can get into the imbalanced state of people pleasing. So how many of us do we know that people pleasing is not right? We think that is right. Why do we think that is right? Because of our ignorance. We do not know that we don't need to please anybody. Whatever we do, we should do in the right way to please ourselves, not somebody else. When we do everything in the righteous way, everything falls into place. You don't need to please anything specially. Everything falls into place and the results will be coming automatically. You don't need to please somebody specially to get the results. So that is the imbalanced state of the social. So is there an imbalanced state for spiritual desires? Yes, this is very, very important. We do not think. We think when we are doing the spiritual, everything is going right. No. When we get into spirituality, there is something called escapism. You know, we put everything in the name of universe, or we put everything in the name of spirituality, and we start to escape doing things. We start to escape the karma. Oh, I don't need to do this. The universe will take care of me. And that is the imbalanced pattern of spiritualism. So when this spiritual desire is in the balanced state, there is a steady pattern. You don't lose control over yourself. So whatever you're doing, you will do in the right way. That means you will do in that moment what needs to be done. You're gonna do that. Suppose you taking an example of taking a reason for spirituality and escaping your day-to-day activities. That is called the escapism. Don't do that. Even though you are in the spiritual path, do your karma. Everyday actions are important, but put them in the dharmic way and go forward. That will take you forward. This we learn from Ramayanam. When we look into the scriptures, whether it is Ramayanam or Mahabharatam, we should not look at the extremes of these. We should look in the simpler terms in our day-to-day life, how we can implement this. We cannot escape from our day-to-day life. See, if I am a mother, my responsibility is to cook, is to clean the house, cook for the kids, cook for your husband. That is my basic responsibility. I cannot escape from this responsibility and do spiritual work. No. So what does this mean? When I am doing this karmic activity, where does the spirituality come into picture here? Do your activity, but don't keep that kartutvam. I am doing this. I am cooking for my kids, or I am the only one who is cleaning this house. This is all happening because of me. That is where we are getting into trouble. Just do it as your responsibility. Do the action and let go. When you are at work, give 100% in your work. Don't let something else come and interfere with your work. When you are working, you cannot do other thing. You need to give 100% there. And don't keep that kartutvam that I am doing everything. When you give away that result to the universe or to the prakriti, then when you are not attaching to yourself, that is when you are living in the spiritual life. Not when you are letting go everything, when you're leaving everything. What you're supposed to do, you're leaving. And you're thinking you're doing something great to the universe. No, that is not the spirituality. You do your everyday karma and give that result to the universe or the prakriti. And then if you can lead this way, that is the spirituality, not the escapism. So, how are you getting into these desires? Where is it becoming imbalanced? Means we need to look into ourselves. We are coming with lot of karmas. We are coming with ruchi and vasanas and the samskaras. So if we are not in self-awareness, if we are not working to our self-realization, what happens is these ruchi and vasana, the involuntary and voluntary actions, they become our attachments. If we observe this, you can observe it in our day-to-day life. They become our attachments. When these become our attachments, you start to work for that attachment. So when you start work for that attachment, that becomes an imbalanced desire. When that becomes an imbalanced desire, that leads to an unwanted result. So we can take example of food itself here. If we in the past life, maybe, we have this attachment towards food. So when we do not have control over our eating habits, that becomes an attachment. That is an attachment. Eating without control is an attachment. So what is happening without eating in control? That means you do not have the right jnanam, how to eat right. So that is coming out of ignorance. You are eating unwanted food. So that unwanted food is giving you the tamasic qualities. These tamasic qualities are taking into the imbalance whatever your body is getting. We get so many disorders and diseases with these eating habits. So whatever the final result, the disorder or diseases we are getting, that is because of the ignorance or the attachment with this food habit. So in that way, everything, physical food, it may be substance abuse, it may be sleep disorders, it may be, the substance abuse comes when it comes to the pain management, it may be emotional, it may be intellectual. So everything what we do is associated with attachments. Everything what we do is associated with these desires. So it is up to us how to channelize this desire. You want to mix it with the sattvic guna, or if you want to direct it towards the tamasic guna, it is within us. So how do we inculcate the sattvic habits? Self discipline, working towards the self realization, and eating right, sattvic foods, avoiding the tamasic foods. Choose the right foods what you're eating, because what we are putting inside is very, very important in making our mind clear, in giving a clarity of mind, in getting the clarity of mind. So all these things, in our day-to-day life, what we are doing, what are our attachments, what are we directing ourselves towards. So these are all important things in directing this karma, or this kama, or the desire. So there are so many things associated with this. All the other Arishadvargas also, if you see anger, that is associated with the desire. If you see greed, that is also associated with the desire. When the desire goes out of control, it becomes greed. When the desire is not fulfilled, that becomes anger. So other Arishadvargas are also rooted to this Arishadvarga of Kama. So this is the main Arishadvarga which, if we have control over this one, then we can get control over others, slowly. So this is about, desire or Kama. And actually, I want to bring out an interesting point here. When it comes to desires, whether it is food, whether it is alcohol or social drinking or anything, any desire you take, suppressing the desire is not what we are looking for. Your self-realization goal to go to a point where you should see a transformation in yourself. when we are talking about eating that mirchi bhaji, you should not suppress your desire to eat that bhaji, but you should see a transformation in yourself where your mind or your indriyas should not ask for that bhaji. That's what you should look. Whereas, your indriyas want to eat that bhaji, but you're suppressing that desire. No, that is not what we are looking for. When we want to transform our desire in the right way, we have to look for the transformation and not suppression of the desire. This is very important point which we need to make a note of. Not suppressing our desires. We have to look for our inner transformation where it does not ask for this desire. Ivani garu.
Jai Hanuman, Shalini Master.
Jai Hanuman.
So this is a very important and interesting subject that everybody, one of us has to hear. And like you said, we face so many challenges. I have one question on this. So say, for example, we are in the awareness that we want to get rid of one of the attachment or a habit. And we put our efforts, say, and we kind of we think that we got rid of the habit, but say we go back to it on and off. So what kind of additional help and support can we take apart from we ourselves as a human being thinking that, okay, I will just get rid of this habit, this is my goal for this year, or whatever it is. So what else can we do to make it a life habit of getting rid of that habit?
Yeah, that is a
Forever.
very good question. Yeah, forever. First, we have to understand is it is not very easy to get rid of these desires. This, like any Arishadvarga. First thing what we need to learn is it is not that easy to get rid of the a little bit of sadhana gets rid of this Arishadvargas, because once a soul is devoid of ante, like if they do not have any of these Arishadvargas, that is actually a state of liberation. So we can see, getting into this neutral point where none of the Arishadvargas are affecting us is something very high state for any soul. So getting into this is not easy. To always be in awareness, that is one thing which needs to be done at every point of our life. If we think that I have achieved something here, now these desires are not bothering me, or this anger is not bothering me, that means something is wrong with us. Always be in awareness. When a situation arises where you need to confront somebody, our day-to-day sadhana, for me, how I practice this is always, every single day, I try to put knowledge inside. Every single day, I listen to my guru's teachings. If I don't listen to this knowledge, and if I don't keep on giving this food to my mind, and I deviate myself towards other attractions, and if this continues, if I'm not giving the right food to my brain, to my mind, and I'm deviating towards this, and I'm attracting towards other stuff, so I get attracted to watch movies, or I get attracted to watch shows, or something like that. I'm just giving you an example. So if you try to do that for like 20 days, 1 month, you will see change in me. Maybe before I was in my awareness, and when I was about to confront somebody, my mind was telling me, or my ego was telling me, do not react to this situation. Whereas in these 20 days, I have not given the food to my mind, and I'm giving a different type of food, the tamasic food to that. The mind will tell me that ego will come in front again. Again, I may confront and I may say something not right, or I may get anger. So why didn't I get anger here? And why did I get anger here? What is the difference? We need to get into our self-awareness. So what is making me here to control myself? What is making me not to keep in my control? There is something here which is making my mind, to be in control. That is the knowledge, where I am taking that knowledge and I am implementing on a day-to-day basis. Whereas when I'm watching the movies, I am taking that knowledge. What we need to pay attention is whatever the mind gets food, that is how we start to behave. Maybe not immediately, but slowly we shift. So don't think that being in spirituality or being in this path will always we will be in this. No, it is a day-to-day sadhana. That's why liberation or moksha is not that easy. మోక్షం ఏదో మనకి ఇట్లా టక్కున అట్లా వచ్చేయదు. ఇట్లా సాధన చేస్తూ 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 ఎన్నో జన్మలు, వి టేక్ సో మెనీ బర్త్స్ విత్ దిస్ ప్రాక్టీస్. ఈ బర్త్ లో ఒక స్టేజ్కి వచ్చి నెక్స్ట్ బర్త్ లో వచ్చి వి గో టు ద నెక్స్ట్ బర్త్, అండ్ విత్ ది అటాచ్మెంట్స్ ఆర్ కర్మాస్ అగైన్ వి మే గో బ్యాక్, వి మే ఫర్గెట్. So this every day, day-to-day sadhana and day-to-day self-discipline and day-to-day self-awareness is the important thing what we need to follow. And Bhagavad Gita, he gives 26 qualities. Every single day we need to be in awareness of these qualities. How can be fearlessness? How can we take good sankalpams? Or there are so many things. So how to do all this? How to practice this? How do you practice this? When we have the right knowledge, only we can practice them. Without the right knowledge, sometimes we think we are doing right, but no, that may not be right. So always listening to a right guru is, for me, I feel that is very important. So that way you can be in your self-awareness, and that way you can go forward. What I observe is, like right now in current situations, why we are facing these problems is we are not doing what we are supposed to do. That is leading to the problems. If everybody can focus on their work, what they are supposed to do, and if they can do that in the right way, without any expectation, I don't think so you will have problems. Even our past karmas, even if they affect us, even though they disturb us initially, with our right knowledge, and we can gain balance even with that, and then lead our lives. So losing connection to the what we are doing is itself the problem in these days. I feel personally that's what is troubling, or that is the reason for all these troubles.
Jai Hanuman Shalini Master.
Jai Hanuman.
Yeah, it's very nice class and really helpful for me. My question is, being into the spiritual, as you said about the social life. See, coming week I have a Friday one puja, Saturday two pujas, and Sunday two pujas. So usually Saturday, Sundays I sit in meditation for long hours. So this is the fighting. It's been like 2 years I'm having with my friends. They are all like, why? That is puja, right? You can come there. I'm going there. I'm also sitting in the meditation only. But before puja and after puja, you know how the social gatherings. They chat and they gossip. At the same time, they do bhajan and all the things. But how can I avoid?
That's okay. You can come back after the puja. You don't need to sit there and gossip because you are in your awareness. You know you're not supposed to do that gossip. See, there is a difference when you're doing your day-to-day activities. There is a difference. If you have, this is called sthita prajnata. If you have the capability to not change yourself, even though after listening to that gossip, there is no change, negative change happening in you, that means you are in the state of sthita prajnata. Nothing is bothering you. But how many of us are in that state? We do get effect. That's why we say satsang, satsang, satsang. So if you think that it is giving you, it is you who have to decide. If you feel that gossiping is affecting you negatively, then walk out of it without any question. You don't need to even feel guilty about that. What you're doing is right.
Okay.
So walk out of it. Finish the puja. You went. That's what I'm saying. Do your job the right way, and then you should know what is right, what is wrong. So attending that puja is the right thing to do. Attending to that gossip session is the wrong thing to do. So you decide what is wrong, what is wrong, what is right, what is wrong. So if you do the right thing, you will get the right result. If you do the wrong thing, you will get the wrong result. Simple.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes it's very hard. I'm trying my best. They all knew that, oh, Sarita is here, then she'll be in the meditation. I do not even, because even while seeing me doing meditation, they do not stop. Whoever sitting
That's
around
okay.
me,
That's okay. We should not bother about others. See, what is self? Once you get into self-awareness, we need to observe or we need to learn to let go of others. Let go of the friends, the so-called friends, let go of them, what they are thinking, what they are talking. It's none of our business. What is our business? We need to focus on that. We don't need to focus on their business. They will focus on their business. Their business is to talk. Let them talk. You do your thing. You know what is right for you, right? So when you are meditating, don't pay attention to somebody who is talking. Let go of them completely. That is where the let go comes.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, I'll try my best to do that. Thank you, Master.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coming. Okay. Go ahead.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying my best, but the gap between me and my friends, there is like, oh no, if I leave immediately, what do they think? That one I have to
See,
remove.
I
Yeah.
will give you a very simple example. Okay. The other day I had a healing session. We did it for Anuma. Okay. So I was in puja. That day the puja got delayed. It was supposed to start at 6:30. It started at 7:30 or quarter to 8. I was supposed to leave that by 9:30 and reach home at 10 o'clock and then do the healing session. But the puja itself, I got the prasadam from the priest at 10:08. I think we started the session at around 10:10, 10:11. As soon as I took the prasadam, I did not even say bye to anybody, just except for the host. And then I just walked out of the session and I sat in my car and did the healing session. So, did my mind think that somebody is going to think something about me? If I think that, I will be there only saying bye bye to each and everybody. And I would have come out at 11 o'clock. So, did my mind think? My mind knows, okay, now this job is done. This person has something else to do after this. So don't waste your time there. Walk out and do the next job. So I walked out. I went, I sat in the car,
Mm.
and I did the meditation. After finishing the meditation, I did not even go back because I can always talk to them. See, if somebody is thinking negative about you, that is their problem. That is not your problem. As long as you are doing the right thing, you don't have to worry about anything. I don't worry about all these things, what these people are thinking about me, what these people, let them think anything. That is food for their mind. That is not my problem.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, ma'am. That is true. Because it's been a year I started taking my own plate and spoon. So now everybody is getting motivated of me. They're like, "Oh my God, Sarita, you are getting the plate. This is such a good idea." I said, "Why you getting this one?" So many of my friends asked. Even boys, they come to me and they say, "Oh my God, Bobby, you got the plate. That's such a nice thing." I said, "Yeah, I don't want to feel guilty after eating in a plate and throwing it in the trash." So that I am in the process. How you said, I will definitely walk out without any guilty. Yeah. And one more question, Master. How about the spiritual path? If you want to go to the next level, see, I am doing the meditation. Now we are into the healing sessions. So I asked you and Umagaru, and then I am into the healing session now. So do you think that is like getting a promotion, or that is my eagerness or desire? Or the way I like to help the people. I was thinking I wanted to help the people because 20 years ago my tailbone pain was healed by one of the masters in India. So from that day onwards, I was thinking that someone helped me, so I
I should.
wanted to heal others.
Okay.
So slowly I got into this, and I came here. So the other day, now I am sitting in the healing sessions. But do you think this is going to be good for me, or you want me to be only stay here?
See, that is something you need to decide, because I don't know what your past is or what your karmas were or how did you come here into spirituality. This is every spiritual growth for anybody. It is their personal path. My path will be different from yours.
Right.
What I go through is different from yours. So if you always if you are in the spiritual path, the universe will guide you or will tell you what you're doing is right or what you're doing is wrong. For me, the universe will tell me where to attend, where not to attend, which call to take, which call not to take. I am in complete awareness when I'm doing things, even in way to moksha.
Mm.
So, it is your awareness
Right.
what you are supposed to do.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Yeah. I'll keep trying to.
Yeah, if you have been healed by a master, then maybe, yes, maybe your path is telling you to heal someone. So make sure when you are healing someone, make sure that the masters are healing them. We should never give our energy for healing because our energy is not sufficient. Once we deplete our energy, it is very, very difficult to regain that energy.
Yeah.
Just be aware of that.
Sure, ma'am. Yeah, that's why Anuma always
Tells, yeah,
tells that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. ధన్యవాదాలండి. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Shrivani garu.
Yeah, Shalini Master, I just wanted to add a little bit to the previous question that was asked by Sarita Garu regarding attending the pujas and how to deal with the after puja sessions, like for the post sessions. So in my experience, like actually I do have multiple friends over here, and I also do attend Shalini Master. She has aced the game, so she will be able to easily handle that. But for people like general people like us, it might be difficult, especially in the initial phases of stepping into this transformative mode. So what I am doing, I thought that maybe it might be helpful for her. So I am like a, after puja or before puja thing and all those sessions, especially while you're eating, Sarita garu, what I do is I take my plate and I don't sit at one table. Any party it is, I never sit. So if I sit, then I am stuck to that table for the entire period, because you won't even feel like getting
Yeah.
up and going anywhere. So I stand there, I chat for 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then I move on to the next table, and then I chat there for 1 2 minutes. So when I go there, so I will take over the conversation, obviously, because I entered that group right there at that time, right? So that will be a new topic there, whichever the table. That way, I am in touch with each and every friend over there. So it is not that I sat with only these 5 people and spent a lot of time and I just said hi to rest of the people and left the party. No, I spent time with everybody and I did not spend time with any one of them at the same time in any of those sessions. And another thing is, sometimes you will not be able to avoid those gossiping, so you will be sitting in there and you cannot, like, just like you won't be, sometimes you might not escape even if you want to just get up and go from there. You don't have to give any response at that time. You can just smile and just do your thing, or just browse your phone, or just you keep breathing out and then you do your own thing and just smile, so that we won't be very obviously making if you cannot escape that situation.
Yeah, that's helpful, and I should
And
try.
another thing is that you don't have to stay till the end of the party until the cleanup. You can just stay for a bit, and then that way you are staying, and also you are not staying for the entire period for the very prolonged gossiping sessions.
Yeah, because the thing is, we go with the family. So my husband is at one place and my kids are at one place. So by the time I gather them, it's like 3 hours. That's what happens.
Yeah, you
So,
cannot tell them to stop, let's leave immediately,
yeah,
because I cannot sit in these sessions. I don't want to deal
yeah.
with all this the social whatever these things are going on. So I follow this thing. I keep moving, I don't stay at one place.
Yeah, most of the time I will be in the sitting meditation position only, and also my friends, most of them we do the bhajans. So I say like, okay, just do the bhajan. We start doing the bhajan. So I am trying to avoid most of the thing, but as you guys are experienced, I wanted to get more from you. But thanks, Andy.
But I feel like
Started.
attending puja sessions will give us so much energy, because that vibration and that, the
Yes,
group gathering vibration, that will definitely boost our experience in even more
yes,
than doing solo at home also. So definitely it's a good thing to attend
yes,
pujas, in
yes.
my opinion.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy.
The important point is not getting drained.
Mm.
Srivani garu, like what she has given is an excellent idea. You are not going to get drained sitting at a place, and at the same time, you are meeting everybody and you are enjoying the party too.
Yeah.
But the important point is we should not get drained of our energy. If we have that capability, yes, go ahead.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
That's true too. Yeah. So that worked for me. It might not work for everybody. Yeah.
But yeah, that is true, Andy.
Yeah.
Shivani gar, I should try this one. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, three.
Oh,
I'll try. I'll let you know.
yeah, without draining your energy, like
Yeah.
Shalini Master said, just see, try to, how adapt to yourself, like however it works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Shivani garu and Shalini Master.